listeners to share in a big congratulations. I think you just posted on Instagram. I don't know if it was today or yesterday, for your first ever Webby Award. For this beautiful, and I want to play the video for those of you listening on the podcast. You will hear the audio, which is amazing and powerful in its own right. If you want to watch the video in its entirety, go to YouTube. But a campaign that you created called the Happiest Moments. And this one in the Public Service and Activism category. And for those of you who aren't familiar with the Webby Awards, it's a really big freaking deal. It's basically what I like to call the Oscars of the internet in the digital space. So I'm giving some claps from my end so everybody can shout her down, follow her on social and say congrats. But this video garnered 1.2 million video views, reached over 2 million people, and 6 million impressions. That's incredible. Alicia, are you cool if I play the video first and then we can talk about it? Cool.
Think back to your happiest memories. Your wedding day and graduation. The everyday moments you'll never forget. Some people miss these moments. The day your baby took their first steps.
I was forced to miss watching my son growing up into the man that he's become. You know, God willing, I'm hoping that I'm around for my grandson.
The day they were born.
You in a place like that, you know, you didn't do nothing wrong, and you have to give birth with handcuffs and shackles in your feet. They hardly let me touch him. I was begging the nurse. I told her, I don't know when I'm gonna touch him again.
For so many, these memories are tainted.
The only photo that I had from my childhood was the one being let out of the precinct. I was robbed of a normal life.
It is a tragedy that Mr. Burton spent some 20 years in jail for a crime that he did not commit. I offer my apologies on behalf of a system that failed him.
One of their happiest moments is the day they were released from prison.
19 years! Yeah! Yeah, baby!
And reunited with their families. But those stolen moments, they'll never get back.
That is, I think, a very difficult video to watch and also beautifully, beautifully done. What's the stat there that's on the very end about, is it 200 people that have spent 3,000 years?
Innocence Project has helped free over 200 people from prison who have total spent over 3,000 years behind bars. That's us nationally. Over 3,000 people have been exonerated.
It seems like unfathomable that that's even possible for this to happen in the current age of when we think about how much information we should have to make better decisions. Can you share how did this campaign, how did this video come to be? What was kind of like the purpose behind it?
Yeah, so a few years ago, Steve Aguiar, who does audience development for us, said, he does the ads and a bunch of other stuff. And he said, if IP was going to have, like, if we had a chance to show who we are in a Super Bowl campaign, you know, what does that look like? It took several years because, you know, it is what it is. But, you know, so we needed to create, what is our 30-second commercial or 2-minute commercial, so that anyone in the world can understand who is the Innocence Project? So this is we call it the Super Bowl ad internally. And
it should play at the Super Bowl.
It sounds basic, like what, but part of it is, let's remember that digital, I'm on the communications team, but our team services across departments. So it's a new development for the Innocence Project. So what we're realizing is digital touches all aspects, and we created this brand externally. So I'm
100%.
So things need to be, reconfigured, and just so it understands the growth of what is here. But the point is, what is our brand ad? And this was our brand ad. And we looked at a couple different prospects. We hired Hayden 5. They're a shop that, you can select your director, you can select your composer, all based on the specific need. And so we picked Ariel Ellis, who personally had been impacted by incarceration through her family. And, we got to select from these award-winning directors, someone who, had won had a Netflix award-winning show, and it's just very thoughtful, their process. And we're thoughtful in who's writing it and producing it. Right. And of course, we worked with the attorneys to pick what are the cases that we can feature. Because although we represent hundreds, there's a couple people we focus on: Rosa Jimenez, Hugh Burton, and Tremaine Hicks. And they're sort of the focus of that. And there we get, most of our clients are men. So when we can work with and show the impact of wrongful conviction on a woman, it's so amazing. And Rosa was recently released a couple years ago. Also, for committing a crime that never occurred, women who are wrongly convicted are disproportionately convicted of crimes that never occurred, and when they're in the care of loved ones. So it's similar to what we saw in Melissa's case. So anyway, that's our Super Bowl commercial. Ariel Ellis is the director. Dasha Polanco, we know we had to do it in Spanish and English. Dasha Polanco from Orange is the New Black, another show that she's done many things. And When They See Us, both about wrongful conviction, and Orange is the New Black about women in prison. And she's Dominican American, so she could speak in English and Spanish, and it was a natural. So it came together beautifully. But I will say, what it is that I do, I'm a team builder, and I know how to build the team. I know the limits of my abilities. And so what I do is I get the right people to come together.
Yes.
And
that is so important to be, I try and do this too, the self-awareness to know this is what I can do, but I need to pull in these other experts of their craft to be able to make this thing come to life.
Yeah. And that is, and everything you do, you want to have an option. You don't just take one proposal. You want to have many proposals. Danny, who's my partner in crime on staff, my first digital hire, and my team is mostly consultants, believe it or not. And she had heard of Hayden 5. We looked at all the prospects. They were the best. Then we got to select Ariel Ellis, who did a beautiful job. And we had a composer do it, Louis Weeks. So,
amazing.
Yeah.
What was the distribution plan for that video?
Yeah, so we're typically Facebook, Instagram, Google. We tried Reddit for a new audience. We started YouTube as well. Obviously, YouTube is a place that we're more recently putting support behind. So we teased it with a 30-second teaser and then showed the larger video, but put a lot of ad spend behind it and told the story of the project. I think seeing the collaboration with Dasha and the different clients in it kind of speaks for itself. But it's Absolutely. A tool. It's a tool that they played it at the gala last week. We have it continually running so new folks can see it. If we do presentations, we can play it. If we ever have a Super Bowl ad, we have it. So
it lives on for multiple facets. Is it also, when you're running it for ads, are you specifically with the call to action to become a donor?
We probably have that. I think this is specifically a brand awareness. We actually do have a stat that shows that the bigger the brand awareness, the funnel of donors is larger. So I think it had a great impact on end of year to have this. So that, you know, our digital fundraisers loved it and definitely use it as a tool to bring in donors.
Love that. One of the first episodes I had Dressember. I don't know if you're familiar with Dressember. They're an organization looking to end human trafficking. And Blythe Hill is the founder, and they created a 17-minute documentary last year as specifically the word you use, as a tool for they have a recurring donor program, and the month of Dressember is when they predominantly fundraise for Dressember. And so they use it as a tool for people to have screenings, for their supporters to share it with their friends and family so they could say, this is what I'm a part of. So yeah, I mean, it's amazing that it will continue. A video like this will continue to live on as an evergreen piece of content that you can continuously use. I love that. What would you